In this third video dedicated to the Tudor dynasty, we will see how Henry VIII succeeds in securing the dynasty, and we will also take a quick, brief look at both the reign of Edward VI, which followed immediately after Henry VIII's death, and that of Mary I. So, immediately after the schism with the Catholic Church, as we've seen in the previous video, Henry marries Anne Boleyn, who has a baby girl. Her name is Elizabeth, and unfortunately, this, as well as the previous birth of a baby girl, was a great disappointment for Henry, who was, as we have said, strongly trying to have a male heir, which he thought was the only way to secure the throne for the Tudors. In this effort, therefore, he soon was tired of Anne Boleyn, and eventually he accused her of treason. And after locking up for some time in the London Towers, she was then executed. Immediately after, he married Jane Seymour, who finally had a baby boy, and unfortunately died during childbirth. Later, Henry VIII married 3 more times, but none of the following marriages produced any offsprings. He died in 1547 when his son Edward VI came to the throne. The boy was only 9 when his father died, and his tutor and regent was his uncle on his mother's side, Lord Seymour. Therefore, it is Lord Seymour who implemented measures to replenish the finances of the English throne, and who also completed the Protestant reform by signing the Act of Uniformity, which enforced the use of the English Book of Prayers, replacing definitely that of the Latin Missal. This allowed the English to finally to finally have a direct and independent relationship with their God without the intermediation of any prelates. Furthermore, it also paved the way to a to a Calvinistic Protestantism, an outlook that favored the idea of hard work in life, coupled with good behavior and also followed by good deeds, would allow success in life as proof or reward from God. Along with the definite turn towards Protestantism, and to favor it as much as possible, grammar schools were set up. The grammar schools had a double effect, a positive double effect. On the one hand, they allowed people to learn to read and write, so again, to overcome any obstacle with the direct relationship with their God. And in the second place, they replaced those culture centers that had been destroyed during right after the Act of Supremacy, when monasteries were suppressed. And this allowed also a flourishing culture to start again. As we said, Edward VI was a frail boy who had a very precarious health, and in fact his reign lasted only 6 years. And in 1553, when he died, Mary I came to the throne. She was Catherine of Aragon's daughter, a fervent Catholic, and full of resentment for what had happened to her mother. Upon arriving on the throne, she soon became very unpopular because she tried with all her might to reinstate the Catholic Church power in England through the Catholic religion. And since the majority of people had already become Protestant, it was very difficult for her to achieve her objective. And she became quite violent in persecuting all those that resisted her attempts to reinstate the Catholic Church, to the point that she was nicknamed Bloody Mary. Another element that made her very unpopular among her people was the fact that she married Philip II of Spain, thus jeopardizing England's independence, because an eventual offspring would allow Philip II to take over the throne of England and combine it with that of Spain. Luckily for the English, though, Mary did not last on the throne for very long, and within 5 years she died without having any children, thus saving the English throne and the English people from being subjected to Spain. In the next videos, we will instead discuss Elizabeth I. Thank you.